Welcome! In this video, we will answer a common finance question. Which action is usually a dependable and appealing way for managers to try to boost their company's EPS? We will unpack what EPS means, look at the equation, and then analyze which action tends to be the most reliable. First, let's define EPS. EPS stands for earnings per share. It tells us how much profit belongs to each share of stock. Here is the formula. EPS equals net income divided by shares outstanding. So there are two ways to increase EPS. We can increase net income, or we can reduce the number of shares. Let's visualize that. Think of this formula as having two levers. Lever 1, increase net income by growing sales or cutting costs. Lever 2, decrease shares outstanding, often by buying back shares. Which lever is usually more dependable and appealing for managers? Growing net income is great, but it can be unpredictable. It depends on market conditions, competition, and long-term strategy. Reducing shares outstanding is often quicker and more controllable. A company can do a share buyback in the market, and that immediately reduces the denominator in the EPS fraction. That is why managers often find buybacks dependable and appealing. Let's compare them visually. Now, let's do a short example to see why buybacks are so effective. Suppose a company has net income of $10 million and 5 million shares outstanding. EPS equals 10 million divided by 5 million, which is $2 per share. Now, imagine the company buys back 1 million shares. Net income stays the same, but shares drop to 4 million. EPS becomes 10 million divided by 4 million, which is 2.5. So EPS jumps from $2 to 2.5, even though profits did not increase. This is why share buybacks are often considered dependable. They directly boost EPS by shrinking the denominator. Let's build that on screen. So, which action is usually a dependable and appealing way for managers to boost EPS? The most common answer is a share buyback, which reduces the number of shares outstanding. To recap, EPS equals net income divided by shares. Managers can increase net income, but that can be difficult and uncertain. Reducing shares is often faster and more controllable. Therefore, buying back shares is usually the dependable and appealing choice. Great job! If you want, we can also discuss when buybacks are good or when they might be risky. But for this question, the best answer is share repurchases.